Most medical problems are simple. A symptom leads to a diagnosis leads to treatment. But sometimes the body tells a different story. This is Medical Mystery Podcast. The marathon that never ended. The race ended hours ago. Most of the runners had already gone home. The finish line banners were coming down. Volunteers were folding tables and packing water cups into plastic bins. But one runner was still there, sitting on the curb near the medical tent, barely able to stand. At first, the staff assumed he was simply exhausted. After all, he had run 26 miles. Marathons are supposed to hurt. That's the point. But something about his symptoms didn't look normal. His muscles weren't just sore, they were swelling. His urine had turned the dark colour of tea. And when the medical team finally drew his blood, the numbers that came back from the lab made the doctors pause. One enzyme was so high the machine had to repeat the test, because according to the result, the muscles weren't just tired, they were dissolving. The runner was 34 years old, healthy, no major medical problems. Running had been his hobby for years. Short races at first, then half marathons, eventually the full distance, 26.2 miles. It's a distance the human body can complete, but only with preparation. Training schedules, long runs on weekends, gradual increases in distance. By the time race day had arrived, he had spent 4 months getting ready. Early morning runs before work, evening workouts, careful attention to hydration, nutrition, recovery. The marathon itself started well. The weather was mild, cool enough that overheating wasn't a concern. The first 10 miles passed easily. By mile 15, his legs began to feel heavy, but that's normal in long races. By mile 20, the real fatigue started. Runners sometimes call it the wall, a moment when the body's stored energy runs low and every step becomes difficult. But he kept moving, 1 mile at a time. Eventually, the finish line appeared. He crossed it in just under 4 hours. Not a personal best, but a respectable result. At first, he felt the usual symptoms of a long race: fatigue, muscle soreness, mild dizziness. Volunteers handed him water and a foil blanket, but within an hour, something unusual started happening. The pain in his legs wasn't fading. It was getting worse. Muscle soreness after a marathon is expected. The microscopic damage from running that far often take days to heal. But this pain was different. Sharp, deep, and accompanied by swelling. His thighs felt tight, almost rigid. Walking became difficult. Soon, he noticed something else. When he went to the restroom near the medical tent, the urine in the toilet looked wrong. Not yellow, not clear, but dark brown, almost like cola. At first he assumed he was dehydrated. Dehydration can concentrate urine and make it appear darker, so he drank more water, electrolyte drinks, anything available at the finish line. But the colour didn't change. If anything, it grew darker. That was when the race medics decided to send him to hospital. At the emergency department, the initial assumption seemed simple: severe dehydration. Long races drain fluids quickly. Electrolyte imbalances can cause muscle pain and weakness. So doctors started intravenous fluids. Blood tests were ordered. electrolytes, kidney function, muscle enzymes. When the first results came back, something unexpected appeared. His kidneys were already under stress. Creatinine levels were rising, a sign the kidneys were struggling to filter waste. But the most dramatic number was something else entirely. Creatinine kinase, often abbreviated as CK, and the value was shockingly high. Creatine kinase is an enzyme found inside muscle cells. When muscles are damaged, the enzyme leaks into the bloodstream. After intense exercise, CK levels can rise, sometimes significantly. So at first, the doctors assumed this was simply the normal aftermath of extreme exertion. After all, he had just run a marathon. Muscle breakdown happens during endurance sports. The body repairs it over time. Fluids help the kidneys flush the extra proteins from the blood. Most runners recover within days. But when the lab repeated the test a few hours later, the CK level had climbed even higher, far beyond what doctors normally see after exercise. Thousands of units, then tens of thousands of units. Numbers high enough to damage organs. This meant this wasn't normal post-race soreness. Something else was happening inside the muscles. Something destructive. The key detail appeared during a longer conversation with the patient. Doctors asked him to walk through the race again. Every mile, every decision. Anything unusual. At first, nothing seemed remarkable. He had trained properly, hydrated regularly, weather conditions were mild. Then he mentioned something small, a new supplement, a powdered pre-workout drink he had started using 2 weeks before the race. It promised increased endurance, improved performance, faster recovery. The label listed familiar ingredients: caffeine, creatine, electrolytes, but also several compounds designed to push muscles harder during exercise. On their own, many of these ingredients were harmless, but combined with extreme exertion, they could push muscle cells beyond their limits. And when muscle cells fail catastrophically, they release more than just enzymes. They release myoglobin, a protein that stores oxygen inside muscle tissue. In small amounts, myoglobin isn't dangerous, but in large quantities, it floods the bloodstream, and the kidneys struggle to filter it. The dark urine the runner had noticed earlier wasn't blood. It was myoglobin, a signal that muscle fibers across his body were breaking apart. The condition has a name: rhabdomyolysis. Rhabdomyolysis occurs when muscle tissue breaks down rapidly. The cells rupture, their contents spill into the bloodstream. Electrolytes surge. Proteins like myoglobin circulates in massive amounts. The kidneys attempt to filter these substances from the blood, but too much myoglobin can overwhelm the filtration system. The protein clogs the microscopic tubules that carry waste through the kidneys. Inflammation follows. Kidney failure can begin within hours. The classic symptoms often appear in sequence: severe muscle pain, swelling, weakness, and dark cola-coloured urine. Exactly what the runner experienced after finishing the race. Marathons alone rarely cause rhabdomyolysis, but under the right conditions, the risk increases. Extreme exertion, heat, dehydration, certain medications, or performance supplements that push muscles beyond safe limits. In this case, several factors combined: hours of continuous muscle strain, a supplement that amplified exertion, and the natural limits of muscle tissue finally reached. The race had ended, but the damage inside the muscles had only just begun. Treatment for rhabdomyolysis begins quickly. The goal is simple: protect the kidneys. Doctors started aggressive intravenous fluids, large volumes of saline, enough to keep the kidneys flushing waste continuously. Urine output was monitored carefully, blood tests repeated every few hours. The CK levels peaked the following morning, then slowly began falling. A good sign. It meant the muscle breakdown had stopped. The kidneys, however, remained under stress for several days. Fortunately, the treatments had started early, before permanent damage occurred. Gradually, the creatinine levels improved. Urine returned to normal colour. The muscle swelling subsided. Within a week, the patient was discharged from hospital, weak, sore, but with kidney function intact. Endurance sports often celebrate the idea of pushing limits, running farther, faster, longer. The human body is capable of extraordinary things, but it also has boundaries. Muscles require oxygen, energy, recovery. When those systems are pushed beyond what the body can repair, the damage doesn't always stop when the race ends. Sometimes it continues quietly inside the cells, breaking muscle fibers apart, releasing their contents into the bloodstream, and forcing the kidneys to deal with the consequences. For this runner, the marathon lasted 4 hours, but the real danger started afterward, because the race that nearly destroyed his kidneys was the one his muscles kept running long after he crossed the finish line. This has been the Medical Mystery Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like on the video. Thank you for listening.